Hey everyone, hi, Shilpa here and I'm back. And thanks all of you who were present with me in the previous live video. Of course, we figured out we couldn't bring in a guest on the computer, so I have to log in back on my phone. Right, so let me see who's here already. Who is here? Akhilesh is here. Deanne is here. Hi Deanne. Hi Aki. So of course, for hey Deanne. Hi Abhishek. Nice to see you. All right. Let's wait a bit while Harish starts watching the video so I can bring him in and have a live interview with him. It's gonna be juicy. For those of you who've just come in, I'm coming to you straight live from my caravan, and it's a pretty quiet and a peaceful place right now because Arya is out playing. All right, so Harish is here, and hey, Ryan is here. Hi Ryan, there's Munawar. Welcome guys. Alrighty. Okay. Hey Harish. Hey, thanks Diane. Harish, there's a bit of a glitch. I'm unable to invite you because I think you are watching me from a computer as well. So it's a good thing we are taking massive imperfect action. This is our second attempt, and we have figured out that, guys, if you want to have a live interview or a live conversation with any of your fellow audiences, you both have to be on the phone. Hey Harry, Harish, I think you will have to join using your phone, please. Wow, I don't know why, Harish, but it just says, yeah, now Harish can. Woohoo. Hi, Neelam. And guess what? We have the man now with us. Hey, Harish, where are you?
Okay,
Hello.
finally hello.
Hello. Hey, Harish. I'm just wondering
Can
if
you
you
hear
can
me?
maybe. Yes, we can.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Yeah. Can you turn your screen around? Like right now we can see you horizontal.
Okay, okay, I'm
Yeah,
trying to work it
perfect.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay,
that's good.
awesome. Yeah.
How
Hi
are you,
everyone.
Harish?
Very well, thank you.
Welcome.
After all the technical glitches I was having at my end, your end, so we're finally here.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, right. So why are we here, Harish? Tell everybody why are we even here?
Well, we're here to share my excitement and my journey about writing my book, my dream, my baby, I call it. That was one of the
Second
things that
one.
I always, yeah, yeah, no, second one, definitely, definitely. I
Yeah.
called my book my baby because that, when I looked at it that way, it encouraged me to take the action and give it my 100%. I always said
Mm,
I'm nourishing my baby every day I sat to write. So to put all my wisdom, every lesson I learned into my book, that was my encouragement. Yeah. So I'm here to
great,
share
great.
what lessons I've learned along the journey.
Yeah, awesome, right? And we just want to hear all of your story. So, guys, for those of you who don't know, Harish has been working with us and really hard in the background. Harish Gulati is an expert coach, and he is the founder of Empowered Thinking Academy. On his birthday 2 days ago, on the 28th of August, he has just launched his first book. It's called Think Before You Think. And I think the title for me itself was so catchy and so thought provoking. I really thought a lot about it even before I dug into the book. So here I invited him to find out more about his experiences in writing the book and how he discovered more of himself, right? So I'm sure we're all curious. So Harish, tell me, how did this all come about? What was the problem? Like, what were you experiencing before you wrote the book?
Well, over the years, I mean, I've been working as a coach, and I found, after working with a number of people, I found, I was basically imparting the same information to different people every time I was repeating myself. And I finally thought of putting it all together in a way
Mm,
I can hand it over to different people, which they can look at in their own time, and it can save me repeating myself. At the same time, I can serve more people.
yep.
That was the original thought that got me started. But the best part of the writing a book, which I found in the journey, was as I went to write everything on the paper, it just evolved my whole understanding about the concepts I was teaching, and it evolved to a whole new level. So yeah, the problem, in short, getting back to the question, the problem I was facing was I wanted to serve much bigger audience and give them
Yeah.
something they could look at and reflect upon in their
Yep.
own time and at their own pace.
Yeah, I really love it, and I'm gonna just highlight the three things that I got from this. Is I think as coaches, it's high time we stop exchanging time for money, and stop exchanging, yeah, our time for one-on-one coaching sessions. The other thing is, of course, we all want to create massive impact. So, what better than writing a book and just magnifying the impact that we can have through one book and not having to repeat the same message over and over on a phone call. And the third thing is, when you can teach it, that's the evidence that you are a master of that concept. So I really love it. Yeah. Cool.
And like they
So,
say, best way to learn about a thing, best way to learn is to teach it. So it's as I said, it revolves, your understanding even deeper when you start sit and write something about, you think you
yeah,
know it until you
exactly.
start writing about it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And one more thing. How were you feeling when you started writing? Did you have all the answers? Did you have all the clarity when you started writing your
Uh,
book?
there was whole range of emotions I went through. From self doubt to being self critical to be procrastinating. Everything. I'm a recovering perfectionist. I call myself. I want to have a
Love
whole
it.
roadmap, whole everything is set out before I take the first step. This is how I used to
Yeah.
be. I'm still recovering from that. And book writing as
Oh.
well. I approached it from the point, I wanted to know every chapter, every detail, how many words,
Mm.
what all, how many copies I'm going to sell, everything, I
Yeah.
have a roadmap laid out. But
Right. Even
then
before writing the book.
if correct, I
Yeah.
want to name every chapter title, even the title of the book, and what's going to go on blurb and which countries, how much is going to sell for, everything laid out. But
Wow.
what I figured out, I mean, you encouraged me to just get started, write a couple of words on the paper, just get started, and I eventually had to let go of that perfectionism and get started. And it's amazing how what I was thinking at the start of the book was completely different to what actually came out towards, in the halfway, it evolved to a different level. Towards the end, it evolved to a whole new level. So, yeah, I mean, when you asked
Yeah.
how I was feeling was uncertain, and uncertain, doubting myself, and yeah,
Hmm.
just pessimistic. I was thinking, maybe it's going to work, doubting myself at every moment. But I got the
Yeah.
clarity as I, stepped along the journey. Every step, I started getting
Yeah.
more clarity.
Yeah. And when you were feeling uncertain and when you were not taking action, so the time between your feeling and inaction, what was that creating more of?
It was, I mean, I'll use the word stress. It was a lack of, when I used to look at in the mirror, I used to feel heavy-headed, like, I'm just a big talker, not taking action. And it was just making,
Yeah.
putting more and more pressure on the head. So, yeah, that was
Yep.
not a good feeling. Yeah, it's amazing. Once I started writing as like I promised, when we first had a session that I'll put down today, I'll
Yeah.
write, but one page. It was so uplifting and so moving that yeah, that feeling of taking action, taking the first step, stuck with me, and I want to have that same feeling every day. So I started, writing
Yep.
20 pages, 30 or 20 words, 30 words, page, 2 pages. It's just that you putting the
Exactly.
pen down on the paper. That that feeling you get, yeah, it's amazing. That's uplifting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So, thank you for sharing, because what I'm trying to highlight for those who are watching and those who are going to even watch the recording is that uh, you know each one of us have been put on the planet for a purpose, and we have a message, we have a purpose, we have something that we strongly stand for. But
Correct.
we always keep waiting for a perfect time to announce that message or to share that message. We just keep waiting for the perfection that's never going to actually come.
Correct.
Because if you even met perfection as a person, if you even met perfection as a person, perfection would be beating itself up for being imperfect. So
Perfect.
that's the dilemma, but it's really simple. Just getting started, writing the first word, putting pen to paper, even just putting a dot is what makes a whole difference.
That's it.
So, Harish, uh, what are a couple of things from your book that you want to highlight? What's in it for the listeners?
Well, main message of the book, I mean, the title you've already said is Think Before You Think. And the subtitle of the book is Art of Living in a Beautiful State and Cultivating a Magnificent Destiny. So I
Yeah,
want
and
to, in fact, on living,
can you
yes,
just
yes.
elaborate on the other? There's a subtitle to this book. Please share with us that.
Subtitle is A Manual You Wish You Were Given When You Were Born.
Yeah,
It's,
just that.
since I entered the personal development journey, being self-aware of my own self, of how my mind works and how things, our psychology works. I wish I knew these things, when I was 15, 16, when I sort of, stepped into the new life. I came to Australia. I wish I knew all those things. So it would have not only saved me from making all those mistakes in life,
Yep.
and but also I would have aimed a lot higher than what I've been aiming recently, because we
Yeah.
only limit ourselves based on our thinking, what we think, what our perception of the world about the things in our life is.
Mm.
So yeah, that's so coming back to the main core of the book is about my main message is to live life in a beautiful state, which is
Mm.
in the present moment, feeling joyful, happy, content, feeling passionate, and then
Mm.
go about creating the life you want. Because a lot of us, we are, living in suffering state, suffering when I say coming from stress, fear, anxiety, and we are limiting ourselves to our goals. So in the book,
Mm.
basically, the whole emphasis is on living in a suffering state and eliminating any suffering from your life. So that will get you to
Yeah.
be achieving lot bigger goals, and you will be enjoying journey much in much more better way, making it pleasant environment to work with, and yeah, happily achieving everything in your pursuit.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I think what I took from, because I have had the privilege and the honor of having access to your entire manuscript, what I have got from your book is that, all the emotions that we experience are a result of either living in the past or living in the present. So either we feel
Correct.
sad for something that happened in the past, or we feel fear or uncertain for something that's going to or not going to happen in the future. But
Correct.
for progressing our life to the next level, all we need to do is just be present in the moment. And your book gives us some great tips for bringing our acknowledging our current state and bringing ourselves to the present moment. Am I right?
Perfect. Yes. Yes, that's it. I've got
Yes.
some listed some best practices which we can evolve, we can adapt to, and that will definitely make sure we start to become more present in the moment, and it will make our physically, emotionally, and mentally and energetically
Hmm.
charge towards our goals, a charge towards living in the moment. Like we have, because a lot of the times we want to do things, but either our mind is stopping us, making excuses or coming up with limited beliefs, or
Hmm.
any other stopping us, or putting physically our bodies, becoming a barrier. We are too tired
Yep.
or not as much energy. So if we have control of our mind, body, and energies, then sky's the limit. We can literally achieve whatever we want.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's yeah.
Yeah.
And as
Sure.
you said, we are worrying
I.
about a lot of the times we're worrying about the past or the future. We are either delving into memories of the past or fantasizing about the
Hmm.
future. So
Hmm.
this I know this has been said, by a number of people, number of gurus in the ages, but this is the things are presented in the book. It's more from this modern day psychology as well as the ancient teachings but with the neuroscience backing research. Like it's not like any woo-woo stuff. It's all got the back from neuroscience.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah, thank you so much. And I'm also curious, Harish, how are you feeling now? Because now your book is written, it is pre-launched, you have already made some sales. So how's that feeling?
It's it's uh it's the feeling is definitely beautiful. Like I'm enjoying it. It's like I've got something tangible. I can it's deliver to anyone I go to. It's like it's my message from my all my learnings from my life. From till
Yeah,
this day. So definitely feeling liberated that it's come up. It come up as good as it is from the feedback I've been getting from people like yourself.
yep,
So really, really, but I'm more happy that along the, in the process of writing the book, it's definitely I'm happy about the product, but I'm more happy about the journey I went through. Because
yeah,
it's
and tell us, yeah,
any step we take towards bettering, making our life better or taking things to a new level, we go through range of emotions, and once your mind starts to put barriers to you, when all the thoughts of self doubt, self denial, will come and hit you because mind is trying to protect us to so it's
yeah,
meant to do all that, meant to keep
yeah,
us safe and ensure our survival. So
totally,
just
yeah.
figuring out, how my mind works along the way, and what all the tricks it plays to stop us from taking any new action. It's taken my, life to another level. So the process itself has been the biggest reward.
Yeah, great. And tell us a little bit in depth about the process. Like, how did it begin, and what were the key parts of the process that actually made this possible for you?
Well, process began. I mean, I always had an idea, like many of you would have, many of the people watching it. We want to do something. Writing a book is definitely on a lot of people, on mind of a lot of people. We often write, one chapter or one page here and there, one article here and there, or a blog post, but we never actually sit back and start writing a book. Or if we start writing, we don't generally finish it. That's what my journey was. Previously, I used to take notes of things I used to like, write a small blog, write a small Facebook post. But eventually, the decision of writing a book came when you had a conversation with me about the retreat you were holding in India. So
Yep.
that's where I thought this is doable, because it's the power of the, having mentors and coaches and people, like-minded people guiding you and working with you, which is what we did, with your coaching session. I got clarity about my mission, like what exactly my thoughts were
Yeah.
aligned to message I wanted to convey, and then how to put it in a context like of writing a book, because you had the whole plan laid out.
Yep.
That made
Yep.
it so easier. And along the way, yeah, journey itself was, yeah, when I say was rewarding, because we went through highs and lows, fun and a lot of fun and punishment along the way. Like you were holding me accountable if I didn't deliver the chapter
I
for a long
know.
time, or did this amount of fine. So it was yeah, man. I would say having a plan, and someone to support you along the mission,
Yep.
that is the difference maker. That is the difference that makes the difference if you're going to be successful in life or anything, whether it's book writing or anything.
Yep.
So yeah, along the journey, help and support and mentoring, because there was a lot of other people writing the book alongside, so that kept the motivation. I could discuss with them, every
Yeah.
second week what all is happening and get some ideas every time I got stuck. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
certainly helped. Yes, yes,
Yes, it's definitely important to remove yourself from your daily, environment of a routine rut, and put yourself
correct.
in an environment that promotes creativity, and that promotes discipline actually.
Yes,
And there is no other goal.
accountability.
Yeah, and there's just one goal, to write your book.
Of course,
Yeah,
yes. Yeah,
yeah.
very rarely,
So
especially the way life is, we get the chance to completely switch off from our work or family and dedicate ourselves to one thing for a week or 10 days.
yeah, yeah, and we had lots of fun as well. There was, yeah,
Ah,
lots
that's
of food
definitely
and fun and
all the morning
yes,
rituals
great.
and the activities, definitely.
Yeah,
That's a good memory,
totally.
yeah.
Yep, right. So, tell me, Harish, as we wrap up, what are, what are some 3 to 5 tips that you want to leave aspiring book writers with? And, yeah, how can they take something from our chat and implement in their life?
Well, aspiring book writers, first thing I would say is just write. just put pen onto the paper, just write something, because then
Yep.
you'll be action taken, not just aspiring in your head. Just
Yep.
take some action, and there is system
Hmm.
there. You have a plan. There's a system laid out. It's not as hard as you think in your head. And when you speak to people who have done it many times, like yourself, you've got a system laid out. Journey becomes a
Yep.
lot easier, and it's a lot easier now because people have gone through it. You can ask, Shilpa, myself, anyone. There's coaches there. There's mentors.
Yep.
There's step by step laid out plan. So just start, seek help along the way, and don't look for clarity. Don't look for perfection. There is a good saying: vomit on the paper. Put whatever comes out. Don't worry about the grammar. Don't worry
Love
about it
it.
because when you start writing the book, there's a million
Yep.
questions. Am I writing the? It just helps, and
Yes.
it's follow the system. There's a part to it because speaking to someone or
Yep.
working with someone who has a system will make you take action, put the deadlines,
Yep.
hold you accountable,
Yep.
so resolve any of your doubts, any of your questions, so that
Yep.
anything that's stopping you, there'll be answer for that. There'll be more clarification. There'll be clarity. There'll be the next step ahead, and you'll be taking actions discussed in every coaching session. So I would say, and there'll be a deadline to things. Best of all,
Mm.
because a lot of us start writing doing, but we never end up completing it. So once you have a deadline,
Yep.
you end up taking action. So yeah, that's, I would say, follow the system. It's a lot. It becomes a lot easier. There's otherwise, yeah, it's easy to get started, but we may or may not finish it, or we may not get the job as done as well as we can when we follow the system.
Mm. And thank you so much for all that you have highlighted. Really, it doesn't matter whose system you choose to follow, but just
Correct.
trust the system, because this is what I learned from my mentors. Um, once you trust the system, you don't need to trust yourself anymore, because people,
Perfect.
self trust is it's a big excuse that people bring for not taking action or not getting stuff done which needs to be done. And when you can't trust yourself, just trust the system, because people, giants ahead of you, have done it many number of times.
Exactly. Yes.
So
They
Harish,
face the same problems you are going to face. So yeah, definitely.
yeah, they've seen it all, and but you have to go through those problems. You have to go through those uh, writer's blocks, if they call it. I think it's a very funny
Yes.
thing. Whatever are the hurdles in writing, not having clarity, but you have to go through sitting with a pen and paper, having no clarity, to find your clarity,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
And not just writing. I mean, what we discussed towards the end is marketing of the book and how to put it in the
Yeah,
market. That's
anything,
another whole.
actually.
That's
Yeah.
something. So it's a lot bigger process. It's not hard, but it's got a lot of elements. Not just because you
Yeah,
can write a
beautiful.
book, then there's another thing you have to marketing the book, how, because you want to make money out of it or you want to promote it, whether you don't want to sell
Yeah.
it. So there's a whole another dimension to
Level.
it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And before I forget, I'm just quickly mentioning it. He has launched his book, of course, I told you at the beginning, on the 28th of August. And he has been super generous. I don't know how much value are you giving for just a $20 book? He's added an online course. Harish, I leave it to you. Please share with us.
Well, it was my birthday, as Shilpa mentioned, and I thought, how can I make it, part of my birthday bonanza? How can I serve my people who trust me, and who have been, who will get my book before even it comes out, who buy the book before,
Yep.
looking, trusting me in my book and my level of work.
Mm.
So what I added an online course which is called Happiness Hormones. It'll teach you about more about the neurotransmitters which are in our brain and regulate our
Mm-hmm.
mood and happiness. So once you have
Yep.
and basic practices which you can adapt in your everyday life to regulate, to boost the flow of those neurochemicals. So
Mm.
that in itself will help you. And if you adapt a couple of activities, people will think you're on drugs. You're always happy. You're always living in a beautiful state. That will add definitely, a big chunk of
On
happiness.
drugs. On drugs,
They,
without
they,
drugs. Please clarify.
on drugs, without drugs. I mean, it's a chemistry. You're playing with
Yeah,
your
yeah.
body chemistry, so physical chemistry.
Yep.
So that's a course I'm making, and I'm really excited to launch it. So I'll be offering that course free with the book. Whoever wants to sign up for the book. At the same time, I am giving away the audiobook, which is, so you can listen on the move, anytime, any place. You're not restricted to sitting and reading a book. So that all comes absolutely free. So the course itself would
Wow.
sell for $97, and the book, audiobook would be around $49. But if people are happy to, look up and sign up for the book, it'll be available in next 4 to 6 weeks, depending on, because there's few things the publisher has to go to. So it's taking a little bit
Yes.
longer than I expected. So yeah, I mean, I'm offering it for 19.99 at the moment, so it's a big promotion. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, thank you so much. And what I'm going to do is, for all of you who want to check out his offer and wanna, support him, champion him in his book launch, and be one of the first fast few followers, I'm going to put a link in the comments below the video after the video has ended. And yeah, what else? I wanted to ask you of your extreme lowest moment before we left, but let's not. Or do you want to share, if you can recall, your hardest moment, which in the moment would have felt very tough, but you still got through it?
Hardest moment, I mean, well, writing the book, you mean? No.
Yeah, in the whole journey from from committing to launch.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like halfway through like it's funny, I started writing book almost a year ago, and around November, when October, like my wife and daughter, they went to India, and that's where I stayed back in Melbourne, and I'm sitting at home 5 days. I've got holiday from work, and I'm writing a book. Sometimes, if you don't communicate or you don't have a team, it can be a very lonely journey, especially entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
authors, anyone who's working on. So it came to a point where I started doubting myself, why am I wasting time where everyone else is having fun, everyone else is, enjoying their holidays. I'm sitting here at home in the morning and late in the evenings and writing a book, which may or may not do well. May or may not read. So it was one of those moments,
Yeah.
for a day I remember that I was literally doubting myself. I put everything on close. But then, I again went for a quick. I thought I'll leave everything aside. I went for a walk. I made a phone call to a friend of mine, a fellow author, who was in the group, and I started having a chat. And when I heard he's also going through similar, like been to
Yeah.
similar situation or similar emotional low, I came to know that it's very normal. And
Yeah.
just having that chat in 10 minutes uplifted me. And when I got to share my, what I was doubting myself, and, other person, not just saying good things because they want to make me happy, genuinely
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
heard my doubts and addressed my concerns, thought that what I was doubting myself was actually a fantastic idea, fantastic content. That uplifted me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
that was a very low evening because spent 3 hours. I didn't do anything. I said whether it's worth doing. Just that something came to my head. So again, I'm emphasizing on talking to people when you're in the journey, because it's the
Yeah.
loneliness of doing it yourself, and that's where all the doubts creep up. And if you don't speak up, you don't
Yeah.
get the clarity.
Yeah. Plus, I'm just so glad you brought this up, because what is just a good reminder of is that we are all humans, and we have all been
Correct.
programmed the same way. We all have
True.
the same three universal fears, and we all feel we are not good enough. So, but we still have been given a life to live. So maybe we are good enough, and acting as if we are good enough, just reach out and ask for help. And that's the best thing you can do for yourself and your business, and for anything that you're doing in your life. Yes, great, Harish. It has been such an honor. Now, before we
Thank you.
bring this to a close, I give you the honor of, maybe sharing one last tip, whatever it is. What do you want to leave the people with?
One last tip is outside. The first thing that comes to my mind is, I don't know if people over here do any kind of meditation or mindfulness activity. So I would just say, if you
Let's
are
imagine
already
they
doing,
do. Yeah.
if you do it more consistently, whether it's one
Okay.
minute or 5 minutes, because anything like meditation or mindfulness, it's a key to self-awareness. And more
Yeah.
you are aware in any given moment about yourself, about your life, much better your life becomes. So that's one tip.
Yeah.
I'm always encouraging people to meditate, and then once you have and bring your attention to the present moment. Whole idea of bring meditation is
Yeah.
to bring your attention to the present moment. and then take action from there. Because we are always taking it. There are a lot of people working extremely hard, but
Yeah.
not getting the results they want because they are either reflecting on the past or the future
Yep.
and feeling fearful or depressed or anxious, and then taking action from that state. So whole
Yep.
idea of incorporating meditation into your life is to bring your attention to the present moment and then
Yep.
taking action from there. So
Yes.
that's one thing I would say. Yeah, keep try
Yeah,
and stay in the
because
present moment as much as you can.
yeah, because when you let's take the context of you writing this book, Harish. So when you wrote your book and when you brought yourself to the present moment, you took the action and you launched your book. What are the
Correct.
results you're experiencing as as a result of launching your book?
Well, even launching, like I was again trying to perfect things, whether I should launch it today, tomorrow, on my. But as I made a commitment to you and even my wife that 28th of August would be the
I
day
think
exactly.
she's
If I
here
don't release it,
patiently watching this interview.
yes, 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 she definitely. So it was still, and once I launched it, it was the feeling was so uplifting. The results actually, I was surprised. Within that 4 hours, nearly 22 people bought the book, which I within 4 hours, which I
Wow.
had, and I had
Congrats.
just had a. Thank you so much. I was surprised. I thought I'll just put a Facebook post out. I don't know what to expect. I was doubting that nothing is going to
Yeah.
happen, but within the span of 4 hours, if this is happening, it just
Yeah.
makes me think. What all things I've been doubting myself. If I
Fantastic.
didn't doubt myself and took action or start taking action, more action in life, just
Yeah,
just
just
to
imagine.
this it reminds me of Sir Richard Branson's book. Screw it, let's do it. That's the quote
Yes.
to live by. Just do it.
Great.
Screw it, let's do it.
I think
So
that's a very good note to leave our people with. For
yeah,
thank you all of you all for watching the interview. If you have come in late, you can still it's going to be available recorded. Feel free to catch up on Harish's journey, and very soon I'm gonna pop in the link to check out his pre-launch offer, which is only for a limited time. And if you are at all doubting yourself, guys, screw it, just do it. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Harish. Yeah, thank
thank you,
you
Shilpa.
and welcome
Thank you
to
guys
the
for listening to
newest
me. And yeah,
label.
yeah, yes.
Yeah, Mr. Author of Think Before You Think.
Uh, Thank you guys. Thank you, Shilpa, for spending time.
Thanks.
And yeah, I welcome you all to take the offer and catch me along the journey.
Alrighty. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
So yeah, bye. Bye bye.